For 12 years, almost nobody won the big prizes in McDonald's Monopoly. Not because the game was hard, not because you had bad luck, because one man was stealing every winning piece before it ever reached a restaurant. He took more than $24 million. And those people winning on TV, holding the giant checks, most of them were in on it. You remember the game. You buy fries, you buy a drink, you peel the little Monopoly stickers off the box, and you stick them on a board. Match a color set, like both dark blue properties, and you win. Small prizes were everywhere. Free fries, a free drink, but the big ones, like cars, the $1 million, each needed one specific rare piece. There were tons of park places floating around out there. Almost no boardwalks. That's normal. That's how every game like this works. The rare piece controls the prize. And this was a massive promotion. Millions of people played every year. They bought extra fries they didn't want, extra drinks they didn't need, all for one more shot at peeling off Boardwalk. The prizes were real. Cars, cash, $1 million grand prize. The whole thing only works if people believe they actually have a chance. So here's the real question. The one McDonald's should have asked, who controls the rare pieces? The answer was a man named Jerome Jacobson. Everybody called him Uncle Jerry. Jacobson was a former cop. He worked for a company called Simon Marketing. See, McDonald's didn't run Monopoly itself. They hired Simon to do it, and Jacobson was Simon's director of security. His entire job was to keep the game honest. He was the fox they hired to guard the henhouse, and he was the only one with a key. The winning pieces were printed at a high security plant, the same kind of place that prints postage stamps. To keep them safe, the most valuable pieces were sealed inside tamper-proof envelopes. One trusted person would carry them by hand to the factories and put the stickers onto the food packaging. That trusted man was Jacobson. And somewhere along the way, he noticed something. The whole system had one giant blind spot. Him. Nobody was watching the watchman. So he started carrying a set of those same tamper-proof envelopes in his pocket. He'd take a sealed envelope into a private spot, sometimes an airport bathroom stall, open it, slip out the $1 million piece, and reseal the envelope with his own seal. Nobody could tell. The package looked perfect when it arrived. He didn't do it once. He did it for years. Every big game, the most valuable winning piece would quietly end up in Uncle Jerry's pocket instead of someone random customer's order of fries. Now he had the winning pieces, but that gave him a new problem. He couldn't walk into a McDonald's and claim $1 million himself. The security guy from the game company winning the game, that gets noticed. He needed other people, faces, strangers who could pose as lucky winners. So Uncle Jerry built a network. It started small, a friend, a family member, his own nephew. But it grew into something wild. He recruited or got connected to a strange mix of people. Mobsters, a drug trafficker, the owner of a strip club, psychics, even a family of devout Mormons. They became his winners. The deal was simple. He'd hand you a winning piece. You'd go claim the prize, smile for the cameras, do the interview about your amazing luck, and then quietly kick back a big chunk of money to him. Some people paid him up front, tens of thousands of dollars in cash, for a single piece worth $1 million. He treated $1 million game pieces like a product, and he had a waiting list of buyers. So for over a decade, this is who was actually winning McDonald's Monopoly. Not customers, a private club of paid actors all funneling Uncle Jerry his cut. He got cocky too. In 1995, he anonymously mailed a $1 million piece to St. Jude Children's Hospital. The rules said prizes couldn't be given away like that, but McDonald's was not going to be the company that took $1 million away from a children's hospital, so they paid it. Even his one nice move was him breaking his own game. So how does something like this finally crack? A phone call. Someone who knew about the scheme called the FBI and said basically, there's a man named Uncle Jerry and he's rigging McDonald's monopoly. One tip. The FBI almost didn't believe it. A rigged Happy Meal game sounds like a joke. But they put a wiretap on Jacobson's phone. They started listening to his calls and slowly realized this wasn't one guy cheating. It was a network stretched across the entire country, and Uncle Jerry was sitting at the center of it like a spider. They named the investigation Operation Final Answer. Then they spotted a pattern. The big winners weren't spread out evenly the way real luck would be. They clustered around the places Jacobson had lived and worked. Real winners are random. These weren't. Luck doesn't have a home address, but this did. Now, the FBI needed proof that the winners knew they were cheating. Just claiming a prize isn't a crime. So you'd have to show that they knew the piece was stolen. So the FBI ran their own con on the con. They called the fake winners and said they were filming a McDonald's commercial, and they just wanted the winners to talk on camera about their big lucky moment. And the winners got on the phone and tried to describe a lucky win that they had actually bought. They confessed, basically, while auditioning for a TV commercial that did not exist. In 2001, the arrests came. 8 at first, then more. In the end, around 50 people were convicted. Jacobson got a little over 3 years in prison and was ordered to pay back millions. And here's the strange ending. The FBI announced the whole case at a big press conference on September 10th, 2001. The next morning was September 11th. Suddenly, the country had something else on its mind. One of the biggest, weirdest frauds in American history basically disappeared from the news the day after it broke. Most people never even heard about it for years after. Here's the thing about the Monopoly scam. McDonald's spent a fortune protecting those game pieces. Special printing, sealed envelopes, tamper-proof everything. They built a fortress. And then they handed the only key to one man and stopped watching him. That's the lesson this whole channel keeps teaching. The weak point is almost never the lock. It's the person you decided to trust and then never checked again. For 12 years, the game was real to everyone except the people running it. That's how the trick works. This was Snake Oil. There's always another con, so subscribe and don't get fooled.